Hello my friends and welcome back to my channel. Hello friends, here's Kazi. He hasn't been in very many videos lately, but I am filming a book haul today, as you can tell by the title, and so we're in my studio, and here he is. He says hello. Uh-oh, somebody... Well, that was a very chaotic entry that only Kazi's true fans probably appreciated, but I have a very big book haul today, and I have tended to get into the habit of just, I don't even know how long I've had these books for. They've just been sitting here. I put them on a corner of my desk, and then once that corner gets so big that it's just bothering me, then I show them to you. So here we go. So I have some books here that were given to me by publishers and some that I bought myself. Some of them were books that I had already read, like an ebook or an audiobook, and I wanted to own it physically. Some are riskier ones that I bought because of the cover, and some I bought because I thought I would love it, and I didn't. So we're going to talk about those. So the first stack that I have are books from publishers. Also, do you like my new glasses? I'm telling everyone to compliment me on them. I'm telling everyone to compliment me on them because I haven't gotten new glasses in a really long time, and so here they are. You don't have to compliment me on them, but please don't tell me you think they're ugly. Okay, anyway, let's go ahead and show you the books. So the first few here that I have are from AVON. The first one is This Mistletoe Christmas, which I'm very excited about. This is a historical romance anthology. It has Eloisa James, Christy Caldwell, Jana McGregor, and Erica Ridley. I've heard really good things about this, and I'm very excited about it. I honestly have been a bit of a Scrooge this year in that I haven't really felt like getting in the holiday spirit at all. But just recently, I've been wanting to read holiday romances, so this one for sure. I can't wait to read that one. And then they also sent me this beautiful copy of Lenora Bell's new release, The Devil's Own Duke. I have read this. I gave it 3 stars. I love Lenora Bell. This one was not quite as great as I was hoping for it to be. But the cover is stunning. Isn't it? Focus. Focus. Look at those beautiful people. Okay. And then they also sent me what is probably, I think there is a 10 out of 10 possibility this is my favorite historical romance released this year, and it is The Lady Gets Lucky by Joanna Shupe. I read an arc of this, they sent me a finished copy, and I cannot even tell you how much I love this book. This book is so wonderful. This is everything that I want in a modern writer's historical romance. Like, this is the type of historical romance that I want more of, and I just loved everything about this. So definitely recommend this book. 5 out of 5 stars. This is actually probably a 6-star read. Okay, we'll talk about that later. Let's just show you the books because I got a lot to show you. Okay, and then the beautiful and wonderful and amazing Erica Ridley reached out to me and asked if I would like a finished copy of her new sapphic historical romance, which is The Perks of Loving a Wallflower. It is a stunning cover. I love that they have 2 beautiful women embracing. I think that's so beautiful, and I think, like, I don't know, honestly, well, no, it's not the first because we have Olivia Waits. So anyway, it's beautiful. I can't wait to read it. This is definitely on my radar. Going to be reading this very soon. Okay, and then I have this book, which was sent to me by the lovely Sophie Lark and Mr. Lark. This is her new release. This is a very dark romance. This is a serial killer romance. This is one of my top books of the year. This was a 6-star read. I freaking loved this book so much and can't recommend it highly enough, but just be prepared. It is very dark, serial killers, and this is not your typical swoony sweetheart romance, but it was fascinating and I just loved it. So I got this copy and I just loved it so much. There was a note that came from Mr. Lark that said, "Thank you for supporting my girl Sophie, Mr. Lark," and I'm just like, I love those two so much. So this was fantastic. I highly recommend it. And then I received this beautiful book, Grumpy Cowboy by Max Monroe. They asked if I would be interested in receiving some physical copies of their books, and I said, yes, please, thank you. So I love cowboys, and I haven't read this yet, but I think it sounds great. Then I received a package from Valentine PR. They sent me some contemporary romances that seem like they're going to be very, very interesting. Some of these are darker, and some of them seem like they're heavily emotional reads, but like I am very excited about them. The first one is this beautiful book, which is Choose Me by R.C. Bolt. I have not read this author's work before, but I think it looks beautiful. And on the back it says, "Wearing the nicest suit I own, I stand in the very back with a flask full of whiskey in my inner pocket. I put on a brave face as I watch her walk down the aisle. Because it's too late. I refuse to be the bastard who makes her cry on her wedding day, but I'm dying to tell her what I've always known. She's my best friend, but she doesn't realize she owns my heart and soul too. Each step down that aisle takes her further away from me and brings her closer to him, forcing me to face the truth. I've fallen in love with someone who can't be mine." Angsty. I like it. I think that sounds amazing. So very excited about that one. This one is Shame, which is kind of a neat, unique cover. Focus on the cover, thank you. And this one is by Rachel Van Dyken. This is part of her Ruin series. It says, "I ran, but all it did was keep me one step ahead of my past. I tried to start over, new name, new identity, but you can't change your soul. Fresh start at college was just what I needed. I was the party girl, the one that seemed confident, but it was a lie. When guys kissed me, I felt only pain. When they touched me, nothing but fear." It says, "Deep inside, every girl wants to be the beauty in the story, to find someone that will see you as their world. But the truth, I was the beast, and as much as I wanted redemption, I wasn't fool enough to think I'd ever get it until he walked into my life." That honestly sounds amazing. I haven't read the back covers of these yet. I just barely got these, and that sounds fantastic. I'm very excited about this one. Okay, and then this one is by Amelia Wilde. This is Net Worth. This one is when Charlotte walks into his office, all innocence and desperation. He knows the perfect way to get it. Oh, the top line was in a different font. It said, "Mason Hill wants one thing, revenge. He makes a dark bargain. She'll give him her body to save her family. Little does she know he plans to ruin both. Charlotte Van Kempt will do anything to keep her family afloat, even if it means signing a contract with a mysterious billionaire. Except he has secrets that unravel in front of her, he has threats that bind her to him, and he has pain stitched into his skin. The closer she gets to him, the harder he pushes her away, until the contract goes up in flames." That sounds good too. So those all sound amazing, and I'm actually super excited to get to those now because I read the backs of them and I actually know what they're about. Okay, so this stack of books are paranormal romances that I wanted to collect because I love this author so much and I don't own physical copies of these. I haven't read these yet. I haven't gotten this far in the series, and of course I'm talking about my beloved Janine Frost. So I did end up buying all the physical copies of her Vlad series, the Night Prince series. So this features Vlad the Impaler, he is the hero. And this is the series that came after the Night Huntress series. So we have the first one, Once Burned. This book is actually out of print, and I had to get this from Blackwell's, but I am not sorry because it's gorgeous. Am I right? Okay, so we have that one. The second one is Twice Tempted. So this one is like the misfit in the series in that it is a shiny cover and no step back. But then these last two have step backs, and I'm so happy. The third one is Bound by Flames. Like, look. I love it. And then the last one is Into the Fire, which is, again, just like, I'm so obsessed with these covers. I think they're so beautiful. And this step back, I'm obsessed with it. I can't wait to get to this series, honestly. Like, one of the main reasons I'm doing my reread of the Night Hunter series is so I can get to these, because I need Vlad's story so badly. I need it right now. So, and then I also bought her newest paranormal romance series, which is Ian's story. So Ian and Vlad show up in the Night Huntress world. They're vampires that show up there. Ian is actually the master vampire who turned Bones, which is the hero from the Night Huntress world. So I already own the first book in the series, but I did not have book 2 and book 3, which is her newest release. This came out in February of this year. And sadly, they have changed to the Mass Max size, which I hate. I understand there's probably a good reason for them to switch to that size, but I gotta be real, like, I don't like it at all. Alright, so then I have a collection of some indie published books and traditionally published books here that are a little bit bigger in size. Some of these are Book of the Month books, some of these are just special editions, and I'm excited to show you. So I finally broke down and bought myself a physical copy of Witches Get Stitches. I love this book so much. This is the third book in the Stay a Spell series by Juliet Cross. Juliet Cross is one of my favorite authors. I just adore her, and she's just a fabulous, fabulous writer. I love the way she writes and builds her romances. I think they're so great. So this one follows the werewolf Nico, who is such a wonderful alpha mellow hero, and Violet, right? Yes, Violet Savoy. She is the witch sister, and it's their romance, and I just loved it so much, so I bought myself a physical copy. And then this book was 100% a cover buy. I actually saw this on my Explore page on Instagram. I saw someone had posted a picture of the cover, and I was immediately like, I don't know what that book is, but I need to have it. And it's this beauty. Like, can you handle it? I don't know if y'all are like me. Like, I love a beautiful, you know, just like a beautiful traditional romance, like historical romance covers, but there is something I dearly love about these dark fantasy covers, and I am obsessed with it. Once again, I don't really know anything about it other than this is a fantasy series. I believe it's an adult fantasy, and it's about a town that has a dark secret. Residents have foretold the return of the Dreamwalker, an ominous figure from local folklore said to lure young women into the woods and possess them. The boundary between fact and fable is blurred by a troubling statistic. Occasionally the women do go missing, and after they return they almost always end up dead. When Kai wakes up next to the lifeless body of a recently missing girl, his memory blank, he struggles to clear his already threadbare conscience. Maya, a floundering university student, experiences signs that she may be the Dreamwalker's next victim. Can she trust Kai as their paths collide, or does he herald her demise? That sounds really good. Honestly, like, this was a complete cover buy. I love it, and I'm obsessed with it. So I want to read this soon. This sounds like it would have been great for spooky season, but alas, we have moved on to the holiday hearts season, right? Wow, the light is weird. Let's see if holding this up. My next book that I want to show you is, I got the Mystic Box special editions of the Sierra Simone books, Priest. This is quite literally one of my favorite covers I have ever seen, and Priest is one of my favorite books, so I was thrilled, beyond thrilled, to open this box and see this beauty inside it. Like, I died a little bit. I might have shrieked. It was literally one of the happiest days I've had in collecting books. The other book that came in that Mystic Box was American Queen, which I also think is beautiful. I think it's really stunning. I love this better than the original covers, honestly, but I have not read this series yet, although I do want to and plan to. It's just, you know, there's too many books and too little time to read them all, but I definitely want to read more in that. Okay, now we have my book of the month books. The book I picked this month is How to Marry Keanu Reeves in 90 Days. I think that's an adorable cover. Like, every month I think I'm going to cancel book of the month, and then I see a book and I'm like, okay, I want that one. And that is what happened here. I was literally going to cancel, and then I'm like, well, I kind of want that. And like, who doesn't have a crush on Keanu Reeves, right? If you were a 90s kid, you probably did. And then the other books that I got is Everything We Didn't Say. I don't really know much about this other than it's a thriller. And I got this because I needed to pick a book for the month, but I wanted to get this for my add-on book, which is The Love Hypothesis. My camera's having troubles focusing. And I'm so happy I got this because this is another one of my favorite books of the year. 6 out of 5 stars. I freaking loved it. Alright, so now the rest of the books that I have to show you are historical romances. And so this first stack are a bunch of Catherine Ashe books that I bought when I read The Duke. I read that in a reading vlog. I fell in love with it. That one is a 6-star read for me. It's epically, gorgeously romantic it spans many years. It has the feel of a really old school, dramatic, period, epic romance, and I loved it. So, because I loved that book so much, I, of course, had to complete my collection, so now I have all of that series. This is the Devil's Duke series. Each one of them follows a hero who is sort of like, has a little bit of a dark past, a little bit of mystery to him, and the women in these books are trying to solve a mystery of who is kidnapping these young women and what is happening to them. So this is a spin-off from her Falcon Club series, which I also have the first book in here. So in order, we have The Rogue. Books are falling off my lap. The Earl. The Duke. and the Prince. So out of these 4, I have read all of them except the Earl. That's the only one I need to read. The Duke, the Rogue was 3 stars. I was kind of disappointed. I'm going to be talking about that in my weekly wrap-up coming up soon. The Duke was a 6-star read. I freaking loved it. The Prince was a 5-star read. I also really loved that. So now I'm a little nervous about the Earl, but I am going to read that soon. Okay, and then when I realized that the Duke was part of a spin-off series of her Falcon Club series, I thought, why don't you collect those too? So I got the first book in her Falcon Club series, which is When a Scot Loves a Lady, which I have started, but I have not finished it yet. So I'll update you on that when I have read that one. And then I bought these 2 because Catherine Ash, she was a pretty prolific writer. She's got quite a lot of books in her backlist and a lot of different series. And this series is something, I can't remember what it's called. It's something about princes. So I have book 1, which is Swept Away by a Kiss, and then book 2, which is Captured by a Rogue Lord. And like, I am really digging her and his hair, which is like peak 90s hair, although I believe this was published in the 2000s, but like I just really loved it. I thought it was deliciously beautifully old school, and I just needed to have it. I don't really know anything about these, but I wanted to start collecting more of her books because I really do love her writing, even if sometimes she has a miss. I think she's a wonderfully talented writer, and she has a unique voice in the sea of historical romances, I feel like. Okay, now these books I bought because I had such high expectations. I thought I was going to love them, and I tried to read the first one, and I DNF'd it. But I have them nonetheless, so maybe at some point I will try them again. This is the Cecilia Grant. I can't even remember what this series is called. I think it's just called the name of Blackshear. So this is the Blackshear series because each book in this series features a member of the Blackshear family. The first book is A Gentleman Undone, which I think has pretty polarizing opinions on this. This was a DNF. I do want to go back and try this at another time when I feel like I'm really ready to dive into something that is rich and meaty and wordy. So no, this isn't book 1. This is book 2. Book 1 is A Lady Awakened. They're really pretty covers. These are Bantam pocket books, I think, which I don't know if they're published anymore. If you know if Bantam Books is still operating, let me know. I'd love to know that. But they're really pretty covers, I think. They're kind of unique. The third one is A Woman Entangled. It's having trouble focusing on the shiny covers. That one's pretty too. I love how she is looking at the camera and he's like just peaced out. I love that. So I bought these. They didn't get here in time for my reading vlog, and I mean, they took several days. I had to get these secondhand, but we'll see. Maybe I'll read them again. Maybe I'll unhaul them in future times. Who knows? Who knows? Okay, my last stack of books are just some historicals that I've either bought or been gifted, and I just want to share them with you. So I want to complete my physical collection of the fairy tale series by Eloisa James. These are also out of print, and I really want to get them all with the stepbacks. I was missing this one. This is the Rapunzel Retelling, and so I went and tracked it down on eBay, and it's in beautiful condition, and it was a really good price, and I'm just thrilled to death to have this because I really, really love Eloisa James. Okay, and then I tracked down a couple of books that I had seen and heard about this author. Like, I was really, really interested in reading this author. I hadn't read her before, and so the first one that I got was The Duke of Dark Desires. I was hoodwinked on this. I did not know it was a library copy, but I also read this book and didn't like it, so I'm showing you this, but it's also going to be unhauled right now. I'm sorry. I didn't like that book, so I'm just going to put it in my unhaul pile. And then I also got this book, which is by Miranda Neville, and this is the Wild Marquee. And like, I think this is so stunning. It's just like, has that old school painterly brush strokes. The light is gorgeous. Like, it's such... it's just such a romantic pose. Like, oh my gosh, I want this book to be so good because it's so beautiful, and beauty should match the inside. So this one says, the Marquis of Chase is not a reputable man. He is notorious for his wretched morals and is never received in respectable houses. The ladies of the ton would never allow him in their drawing rooms, though they were more than willing to welcome him into their bedchambers. Ejected from his father's house at the age of 16, He now lives a life of wanton pleasure. So what could the Marquis of Chase possibly want with Juliana Merton, a lovely, perfectly upstanding shopkeeper with a mysterious past? A moment's indiscretion, a night's passion, or a lifetime of love. Even the wildest rakes have their weaknesses. That sounds delightful. And I didn't have an issue with Miranda Neville's writing. It was just that particular story didn't work for me, so I have really high hopes that I love this one because it's so pretty. And then I also bought this copy of The Air by Grace Burrows. I've been wanting to read Grace Burrows for a while. This is one of Jen from the Book Refuge's favorite books, and I want to read it. Okay, then I have a couple of Lisa Kleypas books in here that were sent to me. This one was sent to me by Dear Sweet Esty. Thank you so much, my friend. I can't get over that I have this beautiful first edition of this Lisa Kleypas book. I'm freaking out. This one is Give Me Tonight. Ugh, like, look. What? I just love this cover so freaking much. It looks like so, like, Tarzan-y and, like, wild. I don't know, I just really, really love it. It's so beautiful. And then this book was actually sent to me from Jess from Peace Love Books. She recently had a huge book haul, you've probably seen it, where she went to an estate sale and got a ton of historical romances, and she messaged me and she's like, there's a bunch of Lisa Kleypas here, do you have any that you don't have? And I said, I don't have Suddenly You, could you see if they have it? And she's like, yes, and it has a step back, and so she got it and she sent it to me, and now my life is complete. I finally have this beautiful step back. I'm dying. I'm so happy. Okay, and the last book I have to show you is part of the Courtesan Duchess series. I actually don't know if that's the series. Oh, Wicked Deceptions. It's the Wicked Deception series by Joanna Shupe. This is her first series. This is a Regency romance series and her only Regency romance series. So I have the Courtesan Duchess, and now I have this one, which I believe is book 2. Yes. And then the next one is The Lady Hellion, which is red, and I need it because I want to collect and own all of her books because, Joanna Shupe, I love you. Sometimes I get mad at how you end your books, but I still love you so much, and I think she's a powerful voice in historical romance. So I want to own these because, I don't know, I just freaking love this author. Also, they're gorgeous. Like, I love a clinch cover as much as the next person, but there's something really satisfying just about a beautiful woman in a ball gown, you know? Like, I want to be her for one night and wear a pretty dress, you know? Don't we all? Alright, there you have it. That is my book haul. I hope you enjoyed this video. If I mentioned any that you think I should prioritize to read, please let me know what they are. And if you just want to say hello and let me know you were here, feel free to leave me a rainbow emoji. Thank you so much, my friends. I'll see y'all in my next video.